Hold on tight, I might be able to finish my shelf in this video. AC/DC Ball Breaker. This is one of my favorite AC/DC albums. I think it's Rick Rubin produced. What year is? Yeah, produced by Rick Rubin, 1995. I don't know why I like this so much. Maybe because it doesn't have a bunch of hits on it. It just sounds great. It's got a thick sound to it. You know, Rick Rubin is known for turning up the volume and, you know, taking away some of the sound quality, but whatever. I really like this album. There's just Caesar, what is it? Hail Caesar. Uh, some of these songs are just insipid names. I don't want to say them, but every song on here is just really good, heavy. I don't know how to really describe it. It is AC/DC, but a little better AC/DC. Don't ask me why I like it so much. Let's grab from this pile. REO Speedwagon. What did they have? Is this a hits album? I can't read it. The words are too small. One of my favorite albums of all time, Joe Baton, Gypsy Woman. I'd always thought before these Fania reissues came out, I always thought of him as a soul music man. And then I may have heard a few songs by him. I've mentioned him before in videos, but he has two songs on here, Fuego and Sugar Guamanco, which are just amazing. This is an amazing album. Amazing musician, trombone player, singer. Just absolutely amazing. Don't want to spend too much time talking about the Latin. This is something I can't pronounce, live in Berlin. Rammstein. Do I like Rammstein? You know, I don't want to talk about Rammstein. I just don't. I don't want to get into it, and I want this video to be a little bit faster than most. Machiavelli, right before Tupac died. Do I like Tupac? Yes, and if Tupac would have lived, he may have given us something really special instead of just the same old insipid music. I don't think that they wanted him to live. I don't think they wanted him to be a social dissident. So, yeah, a little conspiracy theory there. Do love Tupac. Here is Into the 80s by Typica 73. Hate the album cover. Love the album. I don't know why people felt like they had to do that culturally. I don't know why they had to throw women onto these album covers. Typica 73 was the redone Ray Barretto band, and when they broke up. And here's another guy that was actually one of their singers for a time or two, Tito Allen. This is Tito Allen, Untouchable. Good Tito Allen album, not his best. Ruben Blades, I've talked about him before. Thank God I still have this album because I actually do love this album. It's mostly progressive. It is salsa, it is stuff you can dance to, but it's mostly progressive and just an underrated gem. I found this 20 years ago. It's an underrated gem. Radar Brothers, don't know much about it, but it's a CD that I have. Art Blakely and the Jazz Messengers, 1958. His live stuff is incredible. He has live at Birdland. He has a few live albums that are just, oh my gosh, and he does them with Hank Mobley and Lee Morgan and just the players that I really, really like. Longtime piano player Bobby Timmons. This is one that's not on Blue Note, so it's easy to find. People don't, the Blue Note stuff people hold on to. The stuff that's, out from other places, people don't hold on to as much. Got some really good songs on it. It's got a 15-minute version, Lon and Moanin' on here. It's got a little short ditty, Evidence, which is a Thelonious Monk song, 7 minutes long. This is really good. It's not his best live album, the Blue Note live stuff, especially like Birdland, and there's one more that I really, really like. Don't know really much about this. Is that Sigourney Weaver? No, that Cher. Sigourney Weaver's, I've met Cher. She's really nice. I just can't tell you. I don't really like her music that much. She's a really nice person. I saw her in concert and just met her just very briefly, and she seemed like a really nice person. Be nice to that Sigourney Weaver. That's my favorite actress, but don't remember this movie. What's on here? Don't know, and I gotta burn through this. So, Benny Carter, live at New York. I mentioned this the other day. I think that the movie The Terminal with Tom Hanks in it, he's looking for a jazz musician to sign a picture, if I remember correctly. And this, Benny Carter, I believe, is the jazz musician he's looking for. That's a really good movie. A guy that gets stuck in limbo in a terminal that's from a different country, and he's looking for jazz musicians. Well, what more could I possibly ask for? Man, I've seen this album a few times and been intrigued to listen to it. And I can't remember what it sounds like. I can't remember if I ever did get close to listening to it, but you know. Maybe. The Rocketeer, great score. I hate it when they throw, a couple regular songs in the middle of a score CD. Who does this? Is it Danny Elfman? No, it's James Horner. This is a really good score. They throw a couple swing songs in the middle of it, kind of brings it down. Champ, Tokyo Police Club. This I remember finding at Goodwill, and I looked it up. And it sounded like something I'd really be interested in. It still sounds like something I'd be interested in, but then I never got around to listening to it. So that's the nature of my life, folks. Steady Arcadium, Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's got Dana California on it, Snow. And then, the first album is really just poppy stuff. The second disc is really poppy stuff, but just not as popular. Is it good? Is it bad? Is John Frusciante a good guitarist? Yes. Is this great? Is it good? It's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is Rafi Quartet with Ishmael Miranda. A bunch of songs on here. I talked about this earlier, the same band, and this is kind of the same album. This is when they were figuring all this stuff out. The songs did this and didn't really do this or this like Future Salsa did. That's the best way to describe it. That's going to make sense to me. It's in a Yusef Lateef Other Sounds disc, so something got ruined here in the flood. Wish I still had that album because that album is incredible. Yusef Lateef was a Muslim sax player, and he plays on one of my favorite jazz albums of all times, Grant Green's Grandstand. But very unique tenor and alto sax player, played a little flute. He was incredible. I would love to talk about both of those. I'm just going to pass on this one. I can't read it. Too damn dark. Wyatt Earp motion picture soundtrack. Who does this? Is it going to be James Newton Howard? He's here. I did James Horner earlier. Similar artist, similar name, similar movie. All that stuff. We all know this one. Star Wars Episode 1 soundtrack. John Williams, this is good. We know what that is. Woody Guthrie, he was the most inspiring musician to Bob Dylan. Woody Guthrie, folk singer, good stuff. Live from Armstrong State University Ensemble. Cab Calloway, I've talked about these already. Anderson, Buford, Wakeman, Howe. This is basically a Yes album. It's a really good Yes album, in my opinion. There's a lot of people that aren't going to like this. It's going to sound too 80s. It's saw cut, so it was a promo at one time. I remember waiting around until this was 50 cents at Goodwill. If it was going to hang out there, I was going to buy it. I wasn't going to pay $1 for it, but I was going to pay 50 cents for it. Really glad I did because this is a really good album. Underrated, in my opinion. Roger Dean cover. It's a little more pop-oriented than most of their stuff and a little more catchy and a little bit all this, that, and the other, but it's still really good. Can't explain why I like it so much. Maybe it reminds me of music from my childhood. I showed this on record the other day, so I don't need to do it again. I showed a Queen live the other day, so I don't feel like I need to talk about this one. It's a double disc. That's nice. Live at Wembley. This is their famous concert, or one of their famous concerts. They did a live Killers, which was my favorite. I like Queen, don't love Queen. That's the way I explained them the other day, and I think that's a good way to put it. Bruce Dickinson, an album that I never heard. I think somebody gave me this one or gave me the other one I showed earlier and said, hey, you got to listen to this. If you don't like Iron Maiden, you'll like this. Iron Maiden influenced so many bands that I like, Exciter. Actually, Exciter's the name of a Judas Priest song, but they influenced so much that I really, really like. I'm trying to think, there's a band that sounds just like Iron Maiden that copied Iron Maiden, but is better. Hopefully this works. Let's keep going. One more, Slow Dive. This is what I called the other day shoegaze music. This is just an incredible album. This is one of my favorite shoegaze bands. It's shoegaze, it's international dream pop. Dreamy type music. It doesn't sound American. Best way to describe it. They call it shoegaze because in concert they stare at their shoes while they play. This is one of the best shoegaze albums of all times. Mew is my favorite band. I like Van Ski. I like Boo Radley's. I've seen Boo Radley's in concert, but you know, just really good stuff. If I was going to see any band live now, it would be Mew. That's it, folks. That's that whole shelf. I've got another one with even a bigger shelf, and I don't want to go through that now. But anyway, we'll talk later.